While discussing the death of Rush Limbaugh, Steve Bannon and Rudy Giuliani were talking about, certain experiences they had with Limbaugh. And then Rudy Giuliani remembered this great endearing story of this golfing trip that he took with Rush Limbaugh. And they came across a professional golfer. Her name is Michelle Wie. And of course, what you're about to hear is not in any way an endearing story. It's an extremely creepy story that you would expect from someone like Rudy Giuliani. So let's listen.
Do you have time for a funny story?
Yeah, we got about a minute.
I get this one done in a minute. So every once in a while, I was always his partner. So we'd always ride together. He always wanted me to drive because he wanted to be smoking cigars. So one day we're driving, and these paparazzi are driving us crazy. They're taking pictures. And he said, "Giuliani, what did you do now? They're all following you around. You know how I hate pictures taken. I know you're famous, but damn, can't you tell him to stay away?" And he's like growling. And I say, "You just come up to the green with me. Come on." So on the green is Michelle Wie, and she's getting ready to putt. Now Michelle Wie is gorgeous. She's 6 feet, and she has a strange putting stance. She bends all the way over, and her panties show. And the press was going crazy. They were following her all around because they were trying to take pictures of her panties. I said, "Roger, it's not me, it's not you, it's her panties." Right? Is that okay to tell that joke? I'm not sure.
We already told it, so I don't know.
Yeah, he's pretty disgusting. He's just gross. Everything about that whole situation, that whole show, all that commentary. Michelle Wie has responded to it, tweeting this: "It's unsettling to hear of this highly inappropriate story shared on a podcast by a public figure referencing my panties while playing at a charity pro-am. I shudder thinking that he was smiling to my face and complimenting me on my game while objectifying me and referencing my panties behind my back all day. What should be discussed is the elite skill level that women play at, not what we wear or look like." She also noted that she had beat all the male players at that event. And that Giuliani was lying about seeing her panties. Not that she has to, even answer to any of this, but this is what she said. "My putting stance 6 years ago was designed to improve my putting stats. I ended up winning the US Open that year, not as an invitation to look up my skirt. Nike makes skirts with shorts built in underneath for this exact reason, so that women can feel confident and comfortable playing a game that we love."
Yeah, so let me tell you what's funny and not funny about this story. The funny part was the faces. So as Rudy's telling that story, in the beginning, there's still nothing funny about it. Oh, we're playing golf and he likes to smoke a cigar. But Bannon and the Bert or Ernie, whichever one he is, are like, "This is so funny. We're all smiling. You like my comment of a cigar." Dude, there's nothing funny yet. What are you guys all smiling and laughing over, right? The punchline hasn't come.
Right.
And then
you're so right.
Yeah, the punchline comes, and then look at the face change on Steve Bannon. Like, "Oh no, he shouldn't have said that. That could get me in trouble." Not that I care, and I'd love to talk about it off air. But God damn it, that's gonna get me in trouble, you senile old idiot. Okay, that's what that look is. And even the other dude who's so giddy, he's like got his head down, like, this panty thing's not gonna go well. And then he's like, did I said that joke on air? And he's like, well, too late, you already said it, right? And I want you guys to note that there really wasn't any joke. We played golf, and then we looked at the most accomplished golfer on the green that day, and one of the most accomplishers in the whole world, and we stared at her underwear. And the punchline is okay. Yeah. And then the last face was Anna's. As we were playing that clip, I could see on Skype her face, and her face the entire time was like,
yeah,
which is well.
Yeah. Because first of all, because the comments in and of themselves, like, it's just disgusting, right? And degrading, but also it hits different when you're a woman, because you know what it's like to not be able to be 100% focused on doing what you love to do. I know exactly what goes through someone like Michelle Wie's mind as she's golfing, as she's in that putting stance, because you know without a shadow of a doubt that you're being objectified. The men there are having all sorts of thoughts about you. They're looking at your body, and you have to worry about that, right? You find yourself, unfortunately having to be concerned about dressing in a way that's not distracting to these children who can't maintain themselves as you're just doing what any of those other athletes are doing, any of those other golfers are doing that day, right? It hits different because you know what it's like to not be able to just be 100% focused on doing what you love to do. You know that there are people there who are having all these thoughts about you over something that you can't control. She's an attractive woman. She's doing what she loves, and unfortunately, you're gonna have clowns like that. Usually thinking those things, but it makes it even worse that Giuliani felt the need to just transparently talk about what a pervy little wanker he is on that show. It's disgusting.
Would he try to sleep with a much younger reporter in the proper Oh, right, he did try to do that in Borat. Okay, so look, guys. The way that the right wing frames things like this is, oh, what? So now we can't ever talk about women? And sometimes some folks on the left get carried away and they get to that extreme. But that is not what this story is about. This is about talking about a professional in a completely different context publicly. So you're going to talk about, she shot a 64 that day. A 64. I'd be lucky to get to 128. Okay, and so meanwhile, in that context, I've never given a speech, I've never been in a debate where I had to wonder, is someone looking up my pants, right? She had to get beyond that and still hit the 64. And then they come in and they say, oh yeah, but we were the entire time, we'll tell you now publicly, we weren't judging her on how good she was at golf. We were only judging her on her body parts. It's disgusting, it's dispiriting. And don't fall for the traps of, no, you're never allowed to talk about sex. You're never allowed to talk about the opposite sex. That's not what this story's about. And finally, it actually does prove the point I've been saying about Rush all along. Everybody's like, oh my God, yes, but Cenk, he was so funny. I've never seen him be funny, not once. Never has he told a joke that was funny. All Rush does is the same thing Rudy just did in that story, which is, woman, feminazi, black person, and everybody's like, oh yes, racism and sexism. It doesn't even require a punchline.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.